Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Graham and we are doing our mid-month book review slash kind of like vloggy, talk about life, state of the channel type thing. I've been doing this YouTube channel for an entire 6 months now. We've been doing it since January and we're hitting our midpoint of doing this consistently, and it's been a crazy journey. You'll notice that we've had some high rises of content push outs and low rises of whatever. And if this is your first time tuning in, like, well, welcome. What a place to start in the world of Graham. So how have I been enjoying YouTube? It's been really fun. It's been a lot of fun to be able to learn how to edit and do different things and make crazy sound effects. Do a lot. However, as most of you know, or if you're new, what you're about to find out is I'm a stay-at-home dad. And so I had a lot of free time in the beginning of the first few months of my son's life, and it was awesome. Now he's almost 10 months old and he is a tornado, and my exhaustion level is higher than ever before because he goes through sleep regression, goes through teething, goes through all this different stuff, dad things, parent stuff, craziness. They grow in an instant. As soon as they learn how to crawl, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so content all of a sudden goes, I got to keep this kid alive more so than make content, and it gets a little bit harder. And so yeah, I was posting 2 videos a week or 3 videos a week, and now I'm like, I really want to just make sure I focus on things that I love to do. And so what does that mean? What are the steeples of the channel? Well, in my opinion, I want to make sure I always do my 2 monthly reviews. So that's my mid-month, which is this one, and my end of the month, and then show you what I'm going to be reading, which is my TBR. If there's ever any outstanding like books that I just need to gush about, we'll do a video on that. But then we always want to make sure we do our indie author showcase, which is something I do every single month where I talk about the releases of the following. And then I want to make sure I do videos that I just find fun and entertaining. I like doing book tags sometimes, but I realize that a lot of the questions begin to repeat themselves and it's not as exciting to do book tags. And so I'm not focusing on those as much. I like doing top 10 lists of certain things, but I need to be passionate or knowledgeable about that. I read a lot of books, but my genre is so like, hey, I like fantasy. Hey, I like fiction. Hey, I like this. Hey, I'm a mood ADHD reader. And so I can't just be like, this is the best fantasy novel of all time, because I haven't read all the fantasy series of all time. And I don't want to ever misguide you or anything. And so you might see those come across the page once in a while, but I want to be able to do things like coming this week or next week, you're going to see me go on a tour of free little libraries and do free little library exchanges. I want to be able to do like video game book recommendations. I've been working on like some really big ones, but I also want to make sure I read a lot of the books or be able to have a big knowledge to recommend a book depending on certain things for those topics. And so I want to do like fun kitsch things like that because I love video games, I love books, and I love just pop culture in general. And so I want to mix those 2 worlds together. So pretty much you're gonna have a standard like 4 videos a month, which is going to be the TBR, the mid-month, the end month, and the indie author showcase every single month for sure, with a smattering of really fun video concept ideas that I have that I think is gonna just be fun, and you're gonna notice that it's more fun, not just stuff that I just do because I think I should do it. I know I'm a really new YouTube channel and it could totally affect algorithmic things, but I just want to have fun, and I hope you're here to have fun with me too. So anyways, that's all the serious stuff out of the way. That's kind of what I've been going through my head of state of the channel and what I can make time for of being a dad, because literally like being a stay-at-home parent is no joke. Like people joke about it all the time, and man, it's a different type of exhaustion that I've never experienced before. Like last night I wanted some me time, and so I made the decision like, okay, I fell asleep, gonna watch a show that I need to watch, which has been Gundam, by the way. And he woke up as soon as I put my head down on the pillow, and he was up for 3 hours, and so I didn't go to bed till 4, and then he woke up at 7, and so I had 3 hours of sleep. I'm working on 3 hours of sleep, which is great. Anyway, I'm excited for the future of this channel, and I'm so grateful for all of you who are here with me on this journey, and all this people that have just commented and support and all that type of stuff. It means the world to me, and I'm super excited to continue on with BookTube. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. It's just going to be different, more fun content, which I believe is going to be a plus for you. So that being said, what have I read this month? So first off, I finished reading The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. And man, if you have not read this book, I don't believe you, because I feel like I might be the last person who has read this book, but also you need to get on it because there's a reason why people love it, and there's over like 1 million reviews of this book on Goodreads. It's fantastic. I loved every second of this, and it's crazy because it's not really like, it's adventurous. Like, you learn a lot about Addie Larue's life. If you don't know, we'll do a brief synopsis. You're following this lady named Addie Larue, who is about to get married, and she doesn't want to get married, and she's living in like 1700 France, essentially. And it's an arranged marriage, and she does not want that to happen. And so she prays to the gods, but she ends up praying to a certain god who wants to have her soul in exchange that he will give her a way out, to be disappeared, to not be realized. And so she takes it, not knowing that she would live forever and also not be remembered. And so everywhere she goes, she's pretty much like a ghost, and no one remembers who she is. She can't rent a hotel room. She can't do basic necessity things because you look away for a second and you'll forget exactly who Addie Larue is. And so it's a really interesting concept and fascinating. And then she meets somebody who finally remembers her. And that's the whole point of this book. This book's crazy. It's exciting because you read that curse, you read the beginning, and you learn the basic mechanics of the curse and the spells and everything going on there. But then you meet Henry, who has a totally different curse, and you don't know why they've entirely met. And so you have a sense of discovery. And then you have a sense of being able to break a curse as well. And so you're going through all of this stuff, and I feel like V.E. Schwab just masterfully had every single part be able to do another piece of the puzzle in the most fascinating of ways. And this book isn't necessarily like you're going on an epic adventure by any means. It's literally just day in the life type stuff. You're living day to day and hearing past stories of Addie Larue. However, it was so enthralling and entertaining and interesting on the lessons that were learned there. And it's a romance, but yet it's fantasy, but yet you're interested and you just follow along with it, and it's just expertly done. This didn't give me like emotionally riled up, like I never cried, but I just saw the masterfulness of this book and just loved it. It was so good. I enjoyed the prose and V. Schwab's writing very much so, and the world that was created. And yeah, this is a 5-star read this year for me, and I'm stoked. You should definitely be able to read it, and if you're able to buy this like special first anniversary edition, I highly recommend it because the pictures alone added so much flair into it, where there was times where I was like curious if this was based off of like a true story in some way, because it almost feels like you're looking at actual evidence of Addie Larue's existence. So that was really cool. This is the first book that I read this month, and it was awesome. 5-star read. The second book I was able to finish, some of you have been excited for me to talk about, and that is The Bullet Swallower by Elizabeth Gonzalez James. When I was doing synopsis for this, I read like the little bit, and for some reason my reading comprehension was awful. And you know, that's something to say when you're someone who is trying to do a booktube channel, is that your reading comprehension is awful. And it's true, it's really bad, because I was saying this is about a train robber who finds a book about his life, and it's kind of mystical that way. And yes, train robbery is in here, and yes, there is a book about life, but it's different. And so you're following this person by the name of Antonio, who his family has been cursed. We have another curse going on here. And their curse is that they will just be evil people forever. So Antonio needs wealth. And so he goes and comes with this bright idea to go rob a train. And his brother Hugo, who is like God worshiper essentially, comes with him. And it's a very Western. Like, you go and you rob a train, and then the deputies come, and it's the Texas Lone Rangers essentially. Is it the Lone Rangers? The Texas Rangers. Lone Ranger is someone else.
I'm not a raccoon, I'm the Lone Ranger!
But the Texas Rangers come and they hunt them down, and bam, someone gets killed, his brother. And bam, Antonio gets shot in the face. Hence the name, the Bullet Swallower. And he lives. And he lives because the curse that his family has. Then you go up into the 70s, and there's another person that's the lineage of Antonio who receives a copy of a book that talks about their entire life. And so you have on one person reading about this curse in the family lineage, and then you have the story of Antonio as it's being read, essentially. And the person in the 70s, well, he is a movie star, somebody who stars in Western movies, always playing the bad guy, essentially. And this is based in Mexico and the Texas border. So there's a lot of Spanish going on here, a lot of like Mexican culture and moving into Texas and stuff involving that history. And it's really, really well done and good. I really enjoyed the story here, and it really felt like I was watching a Western movie with that magical twist, with it going between two different time periods of people connected to the same family. It was good. Antonio, what I will say though, is out of the two stories, Antonio is the better story, the one that robs the train, because it's a quest of vengeance. He now, like, you know, has a scar where he ate that bullet, essentially, and is on the hunt. The Texas Rangers that killed his brother, he wants vengeance because they killed a good man, and he knows it's partially his fault, but they're their fault as well because they surrendered, they put their hands up. And so he goes on the hunt for the people that killed him, and he runs into tons of different people, and it's just so country western. And there's a character in here named Peter who is the English assassin, and so good. It's so good because Peter is like this weird comic relief side character that you love, and it's just so funny. There's a part where he's like, Peter's like, we could be on a tropical island right now drinking juice surrounded by boobs, essentially, is what he says. Maybe a little bit more grotesque than that. And Antonio's like, maybe the next shootout. So it's like dumb back and forth stuff like that that made me giggle. And of course, like, they're having this like weird banter of living in the 1800s, of what that is like, this like Western type town. But it also has a story about family and being able to get out of the curse, essentially. And so yeah, it was well done. I enjoyed the story. There is a few issues I don't like, and it's because like I feel like the curse was well done-ish for Antonio's story, but when you get to the 70s, like, there's just another character in here named Remedio that I feel like wasn't meant out to be 100% of what it was going to do. Like, I feel like the author was going to go a few different directions with this character, but didn't make a decision with them, and it was just kind of weird. And so for that, it just, the half of the story, or like I would say more of a third, that part is, it just, you weren't really progressing too much. You were just enjoying Antonio and Peter and Hugo's adventure as they're robbing trains and doing Old West stuff. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. So there you go. The Bolt Swallower was good. Highly recommend it if you are somebody who's never read a Western before, because I haven't, and it just felt like I was reading a cowboy movie, and so it was good. It was good. It just, there's a few parts that just didn't stick well with me. So 4 stars, still a great book. There you go. Other than that, I am currently in the middle of reading Undercover Bromance. It is very good. I'm enjoying it. It's the sequel to the Bromance Book Club. So if you haven't seen me talk about that, we do have the Bromance Book Club on the channel. You can join us by reading this. We'll have this out when we're able to. The Bookish Daddy and myself are just super busy this month with a lot of stuff. So many birthdays in June for me, and just vacations and all that type of stuff. So this will be done. We'll get that out there before the month is through, so you can be able to watch that. So make sure you go subscribe to his channel, because that's where the episode number 2 will be about this. But pretty much this is following a character named Mac, who is from the first book. He was more of the jerk character out of the book club group, and he, you know, is the only one that's not married. He's just having a hard time. He wants to get married, he wants to settle down, he wants to be able to do all that type of stuff, and so he's trying to use these romance novels to swoon women, and he does a really good job at it, but he doesn't learn how to connect very well. And so it's his job now, or it's the book club's job, to be able to help him make a connection with a girl he likes, who ends up being Gavin's sister, and Gavin was the main character of the first book. So you get those classic characters come back, and it's interesting. There's kind of like this weird like Hell's Kitchen vibe in there too, from Lynn's perspective, which is the love interest. I am enjoying it so far. I really enjoy Lisa K. Adams writing. It's great. Other than that, that is the 3 things I've been reading. What else I've been up to? Well, I got addicted to making some models, so that's fun. And also I have finished watching like the first season of Gundam, but that's just a whole topic for another time, because, you know, it's a great story. It's really good. If you don't watch anime, or if you have always been intimidated by the size of that show of Gundam, just start from the very beginning. The one that started in the 70s. It's incredible. There's like lists to follow, and it's been great. It's been really good. Other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm excited about this new beginning of the channel, or we're halfway through the year. It's been crazy that it already has been that long, and we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys at the next update, or actually for the free little library video that's coming up soon. So see you guys then. Talk to you later, and toodles.